Hey, welcome back. How are you all, everyone? Good to see you all again. Hope you had a good day. A little bit on today. It was fairly busy. Just work stuff, nothing exciting. Anyways, let's get into it. A couple of good things I want to talk about today. There's some, probably let's look at the bad stuff, I guess, first. Then we'll finish up with some good stuff. Facebook's been caught out again. For you guys that use Facebook, and unfortunately I've got it as well, which is a bit disappointing. Two-step or verification. So you log on, you get a text to your phone with a code to check in. Basically, Facebook dropped 420 million customers' phone numbers with connected directly to their names on a unprotected server with full access basically to anyone, no protection, no PIN codes, no nothing. And yeah, they basically don't give a crap. So yeah, not very good for our security, considering they just got smashed by the US government, and obviously that wasn't enough and they don't really care. Yeah, not good at all. So if you do have two-step verification and you might pay to go in and just check your security settings, and get rid of that, so people can't get access to your account via your phone number. Not good, Facebook. Not good. Pull your head in, you dickheads. Yeah, it's a bit of a worry that these big companies keep getting away with this stuff and nothing ever happens to them. Zero accountability by the government to these big businesses because they're just too much money, I guess, and they just keep paying off the politicians. That's what politicians do. They take everyone's money and stab their constituents in the back. So not good. Someone needs to get in and I think Facebook needs to cop maybe not $100 million, maybe a $50 billion fine might get them to pull their heads in. That might wake Zuckerberg up, little scumbag he is. Right, that's the bad stuff out of the way. Let's get in good stuff. Apple is expanding. Finally in India, they're going to open a store. It's a bit strange. I actually didn't even know they didn't have one in there. That's a bit better. Put a light on the subject. No, that's heaps better. Sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't actually know that they didn't have a store in India. Very strange that they haven't. They are not a big player. The Indian people obviously have a other heap of phones that they use. So, yeah, sort of a little bit strange. Like, they do have some fantastic phones. They did. There was a 64 megapixel phone, four lenses on it, so all the wide stuff, all the good gear, really high quality build, 120 gig memory, expansion slot for less than $200 American. So I don't know how they'll go actually selling any iPhones in India if they can get that sort of a phone for less than 200. Apple's going to definitely have to sharpen their pencil, which might be good because you might be able to then buy some cheap iPhones through India, because they're not going to sell them at, if they're over $1,000 US, that's going to end up a crap ton in India. That's going to be mega dollars. So I can't imagine too many people getting on that, and considering how cheap the internet is, I don't think they're going to be getting them given away with their phone deals and stuff. So yeah, good one to watch. I think more so Apple's doing it as a backup plan for if Trump gets in again. Obviously, they'd be looking at those tariffs extending out for another 4 years, which will cost Apple billions upon billions, and they can't afford to stay in China if it's not going to get overturned, which I'm assuming they would expect the Democrats, if they get in, to overturn all these tariffs so they can go back to China and do it cheap. I think India is probably going to be, I think I've said it before, that they may be the next new big tech powerhouse for getting everything built. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if this is just Apple's little way to say, well, okay, we want to come into your country and build all these phones and businesses. Here's our product. We're going to sell it here. We're committed to your country. this is, we want to make some partnerships, let's do this, we want to be here long term, what can you do for us? The wages are low in India, probably not as low as China. They're obviously a lot better well developed. They do have some terribly poor slums, unfortunately, but they've also got some pretty smart people, some really good doctors and some great tech people as well. So it might be a good opportunity for them, and it might be, I think that's possibly what Apple's doing. They're looking at maybe just putting their toe in the water in case they need an exit, or putting their foot in the door, so in case they need an exit out of the other place in a hurry, so they can just shoot in there and get something done. So yeah, but it was very interesting. I don't think too many people wouldn't have imagined that Apple isn't everywhere. It's hard to think that they aren't everywhere. So yeah, something different. Now onto something that was, for me, really awesome. If you're a photographer of any sort of enjoyment level, Canon M50, it's a good base model price. That's what I do all me. Where is she? My little girl. Oh, I'll grab it for you. My dad. Little Canon M50. Great little camera. Best one I've ever used. Does like 4K, does some awesome pictures. I'm in the process of getting a nice wide angle lens for it soon. But Potato Jet, really cool dude on YouTube, does some great work. He's used to work in the film industry, so he's got a lot of experience in some higher level stuff. Very switched on dude, very good at explaining stuff, and a really good reviewer. So I watch him a fair bit. He went out and had a Canon, and a Canon in America is about $600 brand new. You can get them for just under $600 in Australia on eBay, and it's definitely worth that money. It's like really good for that price. Compared to say Canon EOS R for $2,000 or $3,000 or $1,500, $2,000 second hand. He got one of those and put a cine lens, like a $3,000-$4,000 cine lens, big, massive, beautiful lens on it. It said, well, it took some shots and some film of it, and it come out amazing. Had the speed booster, the Viltrox speed booster on there, the 0.71. So he could put then obviously the cine lens he had from his film days, it's a big sucker he has on his Aria Alexia, or Alexia, I think it is, Alexia, yeah. That $30,000, $40,000 camera he's got, that he does for his business. Adapt that on, and the image, like, I've got the Canon and the M50, and like you see the image, and they're like really good. And then he put that lens on, and I was just like, oh, holy shiza! Just went from like good quality, it's a good quality cheap camera, to is that like 6K? Is that something like Marquise Brownlee's done, or is that like a Peter McKinnon shoot, or what? Holy crap! He was absolutely blown away with the images. So then he just started stacking stuff up. Because it was a manual exposure lens, he went to a tripod, and then it was a bright sunny day, so he's got these big monster ND filters on. That was about $2,000 just for the box to hold the ND filters. His $10,000 tripod. And like, that stabilized it, and oh my god, it got even better. The ND photo basically just put a monster cinematic hit on it, and it basically looked like something you see at the movies, or a super high level online TV show, like a HBO level spec. And then he just went all out and went full gimbal, everything, lights, the full screen, so he could see everything, full remote control. He could control it while his mate had a gimbal on and had the shoulder things walking around, and they did all this dude dancing. It's a great video. I'll chuck the link actually at the bottom of here so you can see it. It would knock your socks off. If you own a Canon M50, you need to watch this to see what difference not the camera makes, but what the lens makes. And I think he even thought that, and I think he was sort of trying to hold back from saying, well, yeah, all this awesome gear, this beautiful lens, this beautiful glass on here has made this amazing, but like it's sort of the camera's limited to what you can and can't do. In the end, basically the full setup he had on it was $62,000 US, including the $600 camera. But that basically was just like full over the top, full movie production spec gear all over it, battery packs, the whole works. He just went his full unit and just shoved it on this M50 just to see how far it could go. 62 grand, so that's current exchange rate, probably about $90,000 to $95,000 worth of gear. He bolted onto it, and it was amazing. So I think it's not the fact that you have to buy all this nice gear. A really good lens can make a difference. So it's maybe rethink, and I've gone back to make sure I'm going to be getting the right lens and the right glass for the Canon, not just buying Canon, buying the best glass I can that I can afford. But wow, like just chalk and cheese, absolutely pristine, just gorgeous, beautiful shots. And there's no way I would have thought that you could get a Canon M50, one of these little suckers, to that level. Like a $600 camera, and it looked like a red, top of the range red, $30,000 to $40,000 camera. The images, that's how good the images are coming out of it. So yeah, I was pretty darn stoked by that. Made my lunch hour. I give me a little half an hour here and there for my lunch, and to sit down and watch something like that, it's sort of a little bit inspirational on the fact that, you know, I don't need to have a $4,000 camera. That really doesn't make the picture. More so this bit here, the lens, this little sucker, that's the important bit. Like, just having that on, the change is huge. You look at them having a cinema lens on, it's an expensive lens. I don't think I can afford that. I think it was probably $3,000 or $4,000 lens, American. So that's $6,000-7,000 Australian. But just having that on, just went to the moon, all the way to the moon. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I said I got to watch it on my lunch today, so that was pretty cool. I'll put the link below. Check it out. If you have got a Canon M50, I'm in a group that's a bit of a group, Zdenka Jarula. She does a heap of stuff with Canon M50. I think the guys that are on that group doing that with me, I think with them watching that it'll blow their socks off. It's, yeah, pretty darn amazing. It's pretty hard to not say something positive about it. There was nothing negative about it, obviously, except I can't afford it. So fingers crossed, Thursday I can win the Powerball, and I'm not going to buy another camera now. I'm just going to buy all that stuff that he had bolted onto it. Why the hell would you need a new camera? That was awesome. Awesome. And I guess if you look at the moment lenses that you can bolt onto your iPhone and your Samsungs, the little ones that will mount on lenses, a lot of them do it. There's a heap of companies doing it. Moment are really good, and they've got some really good lenses. They do drone ones as well. If you look at those photos you look at a standard iPhone, let's say iPhone, a photo, and you can get some good photos nowadays, and they come out and they look really good. The processor in there fixes everything in there to make it look good. But with those lenses on, it can make a big difference, and that's just having good glass on there. Photography's always been about dragging that light in, getting it onto the film. We're trying to drag that in through a bit of glass to give us our image and direct that onto our sensor nowadays, onto a mirrorless, straight to a sensor. So the glass and how well that's made is probably the most important thing out of the whole unit. If you get that bit right, if you can find the right brand, the right glass that's in your budget, that's going to be more important than a $65,000 microphone or a $4,000 R camera or a Sony or a Zeiss camera or all those like big bucks. They're fantastic if you've got the money to spend on them. They'll give you other options once you get better and better. But yeah, start cheap with a camera and work on your glass, I guess, is the message. Anyway, that's it for me. I've got to do some more editing tonight. If you haven't seen it already, I've got the Fremantle Markets movie, finally got that up. Had a heap of dramas with warp stabilization over the last 2 nights. Just crushed me, had to get rid of it in the end. It's the only way I could get it to work. Kept freezing up Premiere Pro and crashing. I lost about at least 10 hours worth of work. I had to just go back and redo it from an autosave and start all over again, but I got it done, so it's there. I hope you enjoy it. Got some really nice photos. It's a really cool place to go if you are in Perth. Definitely come and check it out. Hope you enjoy it. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if you're coming home, going out, or going to bed, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.